versus Satan. God-awful versus Satan. God-awful versus Satan. Yeah, yeah. God-awful versus Satan. God-awful versus Satan. God-awful versus Satan. Yeah, yeah. God-awful versus Satan. God-awful versus Satan. God-awful versus Satan. Yeah, yeah. God-awful versus Satan. God-awful versus Satan. God-awful versus Satan. Yeah, yeah. The devil's trying to come at me. He's even using a cat in my own family, but I won't let Satan damn me, cause I believe in G-O-D, so I'm always left standing. See my Jewish star branding, I don't care if the world's demanding, I listen to my Lord commanding, outstanding. And I'm waiting, anticipating to be adjacent, face to facing with Satan, cause I'll be embracing a machete if he's ready to become spaghetti, with more holes than a teddy. Ready on your mark, set go. I don't think he wants to come to blows, toe to toe, do-si-do. He don't want no more. Got stomped on the floor. In the name of Jesus, may I give him a couple more. Leave the villain spilling like cups of mo. My cup don't overflow. Holy like John with that Peter flow. Put the sword in slow through his torso like Tordo. I don't think he's in Kansas no more, Toto. And since I work for the Lord, he'll die like the dodos. Holy water is my logo. Holy Trinity is the promos. Satan's whole entire camp is going loco, cause they don't know if the end's today or tomorrow. We who believe are forever with no sorrow, while the vial slips down on time that's borrowed. Yeah, I know that weight's heavy on your souls. It feels like moving out and seeing your very first car note. Better roll up on your religious quotes. If I meet Satan, I want all the smoke for all the things he's provoked. Look at the history, folks. This is why I'll die with my hands around his throats. Yo! Awful versus Satan. God-awful versus Satan. God-awful versus Satan. God-awful versus Satan. Yeah, yeah. God-awful versus Satan. God-awful versus Satan. God-awful versus Satan. Yeah, yeah. God-awful versus Satan. God-awful versus Satan. God-awful versus Satan. Yeah, yeah. God-awful versus Satan. God-awful versus Satan. God-awful versus Satan.